And here goes the recording in here. And there goes the encoder. And you are good to go.
Welcome back to another Page Turner with Big Dog and Little Stuff. I'm Stephanie Menard.
I am Tom Hutchison.
Yes, you are. I like how you said that. You sounded
very
a little
robotic.
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Robot Tom today.
Klaatu, Robota, Nick2 kind of thing. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. You gotta change it up on the audience on occasion.
There you go.
Keep them on their toes.
So how's it going?
It's good / frustrating / exhausting. Yeah. It's for me, that's every day. I mean, it's not like it changed from week to week or anything, but for me, it's just I'm everything's working, but not to perfect efficiency. I'm still waiting on the damn post office to bring me envelopes to finish my stupid shipping, which I wanted to be done. We could have been done 2 weeks ago if they had just brought me some envelopes. And so I'm sitting here waiting on, I don't know, I've got about another 100 packages and I'm done. And it's all packed. Like, it's ready to go. I just need the envelopes to put them in. And then it's out the door. So it's frustrating because I'm just sitting here like twiddling my thumbs and I can't do anything. So I think that I'm going to have to modify my shipping process, because if I can't count on the post office to do something as simple as just bring me envelopes, their own product, which is how I pay them to, stay in business, I'm going to have to figure out a different way. And that's okay. There's other alternatives. I can look at UPS. I can look at FedEx. I can look at just using different boxes, like those Gemini boxes that a lot of people use. Shipping might be a little bit more. I have to look into that. And that's kind of what's throwing me off. I'm like, I could buy those things. They're not really that cheap or not really that expensive, but what does that do to the shipping cost? And then what does that do to what I have to, push to my Kickstarter people, and so on and so on.
Well, you do know that if you don't have an advertisement in your comic, you can send it through media mail, which is a lot cheaper. So if you don't have any ads in your comic, like a floppy, like if it's a graphic novel, I believe that still is fine. But if it's a floppy and it has no ads in it, you can send that media mail, which is, I picked up the Gemini boxes for my Kickstarter that I'm about to start on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see how that works out. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I just have concerns with that because I've shipped stuff media mail before and they get really uptight about it. I mean, I've had people tell me that stuff has been opened and repacked. I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't want any of that.
Yeah, and I understand that. You can go and look at all the rules, but because I definitely looked into this because I don't want to have to charge people a ton for shipping if I don't have to.
Right.
So, I don't have to put ads in my books. I've just done it because I'm like, oh, well, I, do a show on Podcast Detroit. Let's slap an ad in for them or, something. Like it's never.
But the problem is that even if you don't have ads and you ship it media mail, they don't know that you don't have ads. So if they decide, well, we're going to check on this chick's packages, and they start opening stuff up and repackaging it, that's where we have the issue. And then here's the other problem. It's not even just your post office. Like if you take it to your local post office and they're like, okay, we'll check. And they're like, okay, cool. It still is going to go through 3, 4, 5 different hubs to get to where it's going. And all of them can decide, well, we're just going to check on this media mail thing, and open and repackage and open and repackage. And that's where the whole system kind of falls apart.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, they should know the rules of their own system. So if they do perchance open it and they see that there's a floppy in there with no ads, like that's the rule. So then,
oh, sure. But again, they're opening your package and repackaging it. And I don't want anybody opening and repackaging anything. That's where I'm having the issue. I totally understand. Like if the system was, we're coming to the post office and we're going to prove that what we're doing is truly media mail. And they look at it and they go, okay, yes, I understand. You're fine. And they put a stamp on it or something that says it's been cleared at the starting point. then everywhere along the route, it should be just like, oh, well, it's fine. It's been checked. Let's keep going. But the problem
Right.
is that the system is even if the starting point says, okay, every other point along the way can decide to check. And that's where I've had problems before, where people are like, dude, somewhere along the line, they're opening these packages and repackaging it, and they don't care how they repackage it. They just dog ear a box and, you know, whatever it is, and then send it off. Because the post, well, let's be honest, none of the shipping places really give a damn about what it is they're doing with your package. I mean, I've seen video of people throwing TVs over fences from like FedEx. So they're not really going to be too worried about the little envelope, you know, play a little hockey with it along the way, whatever.
Yeah, no, shipping is always like the part that I get nervous about, because I make sure to package everything so it's secure, it's not moving around in the package, because, you know, comics can get edges bent. I mean, I want the product to get there.
Yep.
And to look the way that I put it in the box, you know,
Yes.
that's kind of important. But I know, like, my last campaign, so I've done 2 campaigns, and I used the same mailers from the first one and for the second one, and I had no complaints.
Was that the Gemini stuff, or what did you use?
I used, they were just white cardboard, stiff mailers. I have some upstairs. I've used them for delivering stuff for my website, and I've never had a problem because they're stiff.
Yep.
They don't bend.
Yep.
And, you know, if people are only buying 1 or 2 floppies from me, they fit perfectly in. It's the lowest cost. So I use those. But my last campaign, I had one person say that he would never back my Kickstarters again because his got there all messed up. He's the only person in 2 campaigns that was 400 or 500 comics that I mailed out with those.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, and I apologized to him. I said, you know, I packaged them to make sure they're secure, but if it's damaged, I'll gladly replace it. You know,
Sure.
Shit happens, you know, and I'm like, I know that I packaged it properly, and somewhere between here and there, somebody did something to it.
Sure.
And,
No package is safe.
I'm more than willing to replace it.
Yeah, unless you're sending it, you know, packed in bricks. You know, no package is safe from the post office. All they got to do is it's got to fall out of their little tub and get stepped on or whatever. I mean, anything can happen, but, you know, to have someone just freak out because their thing showed up damaged is like, come on, man.
Oh yeah, like, and I felt it. I kind of took offense to him. Like, you're not going to back another of my Kickstarters because you got one package that might have been messed up, and I apologize for something I didn't do.
If this was like the third time, if this was like number 3, then I could be like, okay, Steph sucks. But no,
right. Okay, I suck. But that's why I'm doing the Geminis this time, just to be 100% clear across the board. And honestly, the cost for them is worth it. Because
my concern is just the cost to actually ship it. Like, what does that actually break down? That's what I need to find out, because they're like 30 cents to buy them. Who cares? But what's the actual shipping cost, especially for me, because it's not like I'm shipping 1 or 2 books, generally speaking. Usually, you know, I'm getting a pile of books like this thick. And so I either need boxes or I need to be able to do what I've been doing, using some of these priority mail envelopes, which is what I'm waiting on. But again, if the post office, then I got to find a different way, and Gemini will be probably the first thing I look at, and I just have to adjust some shipping accordingly, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I'll let you know, like, because when I get them in, I've already ordered them. When I get them in, I'm gonna, because I have a scale and I do everything through, oh God, I can't even think. I do all my postage through stamps.com. For convenience, so I can let you know, like, if there's a price difference, like, between the mailers I was using before and these new ones, because I'm gonna check it before, obviously, before I send out, like, you know, all the packages for this Kickstarter. I'd like to know, you know, what to charge for shipping, and, you know, not screw myself over like I did on Aeonian 1. I paid a lot out of pocket for shipping.
Shipping is the trick, because especially since it's changing all the time. You know, even from the last time I did a Kickstarter to now, shipping rates have increased. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm still running. Basically, my shipping is still running off the concept of what I did the very first time I did a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I haven't adjusted my shipping at all, other than I have adjusted some international shipping because that's bat crap crazy. But as far as just like shipping in the US, it's like we might need to do a little bit of a bump just to keep this under control. And here's another shout out because this is apparently becoming a real thing. Supposedly, without help from the government, the post office is about to crap out by about September. Now, we've heard of this before in the past, and it's always worked itself out. But
Right.
with all of the mail-in voting that's going on and all of this political nonsense, it wouldn't surprise me if something goes sideways and the post office becomes less viable through this year until the election's done. So keep that in mind for those that are shipping Kickstarters or whatever. You might literally need to go to UPS or DHL or somebody else and adjust what it is you're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's something to keep following. Like you said, it changes all the time. So, so here's another example of how shipping is going wonky right now. When I lost all the weight I lost, I had all these clothes and they were like basically brand new. So there's this website called Poshmark and you post your stuff up there and people buy it and you ship it from home. You print out a label and you ship it and boom, you sold your shit, right?
Right.
So I sold a couple of things off my site last week and had them picked up by the post office on Thursday from my house. And they didn't start tracking until Monday, which they were picked up and taken back to the post office on Thursday, but they didn't start tracking. So I'm getting all these notices from the website because you have to mail them out within 2 days.
Right.
And
right,
so
right.
I had to put like a ticket in and all this other stuff so people didn't think that I was slacking.
Yeah.
There are longer wait times. It was a holiday weekend too. So that probably
Right.
had something to do with it, but I'm noticing with packages that I'm waiting for from other places as well.
Mhm.
They're taking longer to track and they're like staying at certain places for days longer than they're supposed to.
Mhm.
So there's a lot going on with shipping. So like I just made sure, cause I'm still putting the finishing touches on my Kickstarter. I just made sure like everything's good to go, but I mentioned in the risks and challenges that with this COVID stuff going on, like
Risks and challenges.
risks and challenges are like, I'm going to ship them. You'll get your tracking number. It might sit somewhere for like a month, but I will have done my part.
Yeah.
Like, don't hold it against me. Okay?
I had a package. I bought a Jaws print just over a month ago. It shipped. I'm in basically the middle of Michigan, like Grand Rapids. It shipped from Indianapolis, which is like, I don't know, what, a 4-hour drive?
Yeah,
It
something
took
like
a
that.
month to get from Indianapolis to me. And when
Yeah.
you watch the tracking of it, it went from Indianapolis to, where the hell did it go? It went east for some reason. And then it came all the way back to Chicago.
Ooh.
Before it came back around to Indiana and back up through Michigan and got to me. And it just arrived yesterday after I ordered it a month ago. And I'm just like, what is going on? What are the tracking? Are we living in Columbus days where we're trying to find, India and landing in America? I mean, what is going on? This is not difficult to move a package from Indianapolis to Michigan.
Well, yeah, you think it's just pretty much like a straight shot up mostly. Yeah. I mean, you got to go a little east, but it's pretty much a straight shot.
But you don't got to go to Ohio. I mean,
right. I don't know, man. These are crazy times. I have a friend who's had she orders a lot of like DVDs and Blu-rays from overseas.
Yeah.
She's a film critic. So she's had something sitting at like in Chicago for like over a month. That's like, it hasn't moved in a month. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
So yeah, time like right now, and I was a little nervous still about doing this Kickstarter because of those issues, but
Sure.
I can't continue to put my book on hold. The world's changed. Things
Nobody
are crazy.
Nobody can.
My book needs to come out. The world is asking for it, damn it.
That's right. That's
and
right.
They're going to get it.
Correct. Whether they want it or not. Oh, wait, we already said they wanted it.
At least some people want it.
Except for that one guy. Only that one guy doesn't want it.
That one guy, though. What a dick. No, I'm just kidding. He's allowed to have that opinion. I just, I'm not one of those people who, but like, I guess people call it like cancel culture. Like that's a thing where somebody like messes something up one time and you're just like done. You're like, nope,
You have to
Never
be
again,
perfect. You
man.
have to be perfect 24/7, 365. Even when you're sleeping, you better be sleeping in the proper position.
Well,
You have to get it all right, Steph.
well, but it has not happened and will not happen. I guess I'm canceled.
We'll live in the cancel zone together. Don't worry.
Yeah, and that's too much. That's too hard to maintain. Come on, people.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm looking.
Most people don't really understand what it takes to make anything, whether it's a comic, whether it's making music in a CD, like they just don't comprehend the work that goes into creating, building, making, shipping. Like it's so much freaking work, but on their end, they clicked the button and they
Right,
expect, hey, I clicked the button, man. Now you do your job. Okay, I'll write it, I'll edit it, I'll print it, I'll ship it, I'll whatever, blah 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 blah.
right,
And then again, even then, once it becomes out of our hands and goes into the post office hands, I mean, I can't like walk it to your house, dude.
right,
Sometimes things are literally out of our hands. So even if it leaves perfectly at my house, that doesn't guarantee it's going to arrive perfectly at your house.
right. Yeah, I hope that, more people are getting used to how things have changed, and, the longer shipping times and stuff have been, a pain in the ass. I've been waiting on something I've ordered something like 6 weeks ago and it's
Yeah.
still not here. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not one of those people who's like, well, fuck, like I'm never, like I'm just, okay, it's taking 6 weeks. It's not like food for me to live. It's not
Right.
insulin,
Right.
like it's just some clothes I ordered. I'll live. Where am
Yeah.
I going anyway?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, and I did want to note while we're talking about shipping, I back a lot of Kickstarters. So like sometimes I forget that I backed a Kickstarter, and like months later I'll get a package. I'll be like, oh, what's this? So I had backed a Kickstarter. It was at some point last year. And I got my package this week, and um, the packaging, I would say, was not quality enough to ship a graphic novel in or a floppy without getting it damaged. Um, so like if you're doing a Kickstarter or you're mailing stuff out, make sure that you invest in the either cardboard of some sort. Like they have the trifold, ones that you can get that I have those upstairs. Get the Gemini boxes, get a hard envelope. Bubble envelopes can work they can if you insert, but you're putting cardboard in it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
work. So just get the cardboard ones.
Yeah.
Because I've had to do it when I've only had that's all I had left, and I was like, I think it was
Sure.
a one-off order.
Sure.
But I put cardboard in both sides and the comic in between so it couldn't bend.
Yep.
But then it made it way more. So just get the cardboard ones because I mean, mine was in pretty decent condition when I got it. It was a little warped, and it's not that big of a deal to me, but I'm just throwing that out there for anybody who is questioning what type of envelope they should use. Like, spend the extra money, get the better envelopes, because if I weren't me, if I was like a collector and I got it like that, I'd be frustrated.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's why with our stuff, everything is collector based, really, with all the variants. So, we want to make sure that there's cardboard all the way around, and
all the duct tape in the world.
That's correct. Yes, I get static for that, but you know what? Your books show up just fine. If we have to sacrifice a few bags and boards, not even the boards, just the bags. If we have to sacrifice a few bags to the gods to make sure that your stuff arrives safely, then that is what we're going to do.
There you go. Yeah,
I just don't trust that painter tape. Everybody's like, use that painter tape. I'm like, dude, you're telling me that you want me to use tape that comes off easily. I don't trust that.
I mean, it does come, it's not that it comes off easily. It's just that it doesn't stick in the way that it's going to tear. I've used painter's tape a couple of times to like tape like one comic, like in a bag and a board, like to the back of a card.
And I can see that for a smaller package. Yes.
Yeah. Like if it's just like one floppy, I feel safe doing that. But if it was like something bigger or thicker, like if it was 3 or 4 floppies or a graphic novel, then, you're definitely not going to, I wouldn't use painter's tape. I wouldn't feel secure. But yeah, if it's one floppy, do it. It works great. But
Yep.
You live and you learn.
I just don't want the damages, and we've done really well. I mean, even this time, I can't think of any. Well, I mean, it's fairly new, but so far, I mean, we've shipped out hundreds of packages. We haven't had any damages yet. The last time we did a Kickstarter, I don't think it was Princess versus Zombies. I don't think we had any damages. I think we had 1 or 2 damages the previous Kickstarter. So our track record's pretty good. And again, if we lose a nickel bag along the way, I'm just not going to worry about it, folks.
Right. Be worried about it either. Like it's a bag that you got for free to cover your comic. Like some people don't even bag and board their stuff when they send it out.
No.
So the fact that somebody cares enough about their product to give it to you like that, be grateful. Because I mean, I would say half of the stuff I get through Kickstarter isn't bagged and boarded.
Isn't that crazy? I've gotten some where it's just in a bag, like just in the bag, like they didn't put a comic board in it, like
right?
Just nothing. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, you're clearly a comic book collector. You understand bags and boards. You've probably bought a comic book from somewhere online, eBay or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you not taking care of your own product better than what you would get from somebody else? I don't know. It's weird.
Absolutely.
It's weird.
Yeah, I always have like bags. Like my upstairs office is just, it's like packing supplies, bags and boards, like all my stuff from like my conventions. It's just a hot mess up there, which is why I don't do any work up there. My office is where I store everything, and then I do all my work down here in the dining room. Yeah. It makes life easier.
I'm bouncing around all over the damn place, but I try and go downstairs if I'm going to try and focus and write. But I've been up here in this zone doing all this shipping and everything, and this is kind of my pseudo studio. I have banners.
It
set
reminds
up
me of
and whatever.
Phil Collins.
Studio.
Yeah, yep. I don't know. That's where I went. I love Phil Collins.
Studio is I think that is a reference to us being old.
Dude, if you don't know who Phil Collins is, like, you don't have a heart. Because I swear to God, like, even like my 20-year-old friends know who Phil Collins is.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's
okay, good.
Don't feel old. People
I never feel
old.
Do you look at this guy with these ears on his head and think that he feels old?
No.
Okay, good.
Especially now with those Snapchat.
Because I'm really
filters.
trying hard. Really trying hard. Oh yeah, Snapchat.
Out.
The Snapchat diary is in full effect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand its point, but we're having a good time.
Honestly, I really never got into Snapchat. I have a Snapchat, but I only ever use it to send. I have my 2 best friends are on there, so we have a group. And so we'll just take really hideous, we'll find the worst filter where we look the grossest and the voice changing ones. And we'll just say the worst stuff to each other and send those occasionally because it's funny.
Here's the funny part. I don't even post anything on Snapchat. It's literally only there so that I can take a dumb filter pic, save it, and put it on Facebook. I literally don't use Snapchat for its function of I guess chatting.
Yeah, well, and I think that when it came out, I think a lot of people were using it to do nudies, and they probably still are. I feel like because you're supposed to be able to send it and then it disappears, right? So
true, the 24-hour period. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to show off your goods or whatever, but you don't want any evidence that you did it. But people can screenshot from their end if they catch it fast enough, but it'll let you know hey, this person screen captured your snap, and then you've got a pervert on your hands if you sent a nudie.
Well, listen, if you're sending nudes out and you're worried about perverts, I don't know if that's necessarily working. Sort of the purpose is, hey, pervs, here's my stuff. Right,
but I don't want any consequences. I want to be a perv without consequences. Sorry, that's not how it works.
Oh my God.
It's just not the way of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, so, I was having those issues with uploading photos or whatever on my Kickstarter.
Yep.
So, I did everything that I could, logged out, logged in, changed browsers, whatever. Finally today, I was able to upload one
Okay.
photo,
Okay.
which was the cover photo for the project so that I could submit it.
Sure.
That was the only thing. I just one to upload so I could submit it because, we're launching on Monday. So cutting it really close.
Well, yeah, they won't. Here's the other trick, though. Is the campaign built? The rest of it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everything is built. My tiers are all put in. The only thing I have to do now, like I've written everything in my story, I just have to add in the photos.
Okay. Because if your story isn't built up, they won't approve you.
Oh yeah,
So,
no, all of that's in there. Like,
okay, good.
Yeah. I made sure to get everything. Usually that's how I do it. Like I did it with my first one. I fill everything out and then I start uploading all the artwork and then, labeling it and putting
Yep.
it where I want in
Yep.
with the words and all that. So yeah, I couldn't, and then so I submitted it and apparently I get to wait this time to find out if
Yeah.
I get approved, which
Well,
is,
here's the interesting thing for me. I have never waited on a Kickstarter from my very first one till now, except for both Princesses versus Zombies.
yeah.
And I can't figure out why that is. So it'll be interesting when we launch our next one, if I get told to wait again, because I've done, I don't know, whatever it is, 12. But
Yeah.
the only time I've ever waited was on both of the Princesses versus Zombies, which was very, very strange. And in both cases, I got approved and it went through and it wasn't a problem. But it was very weird to be told, hey, we'll check on this, come back in a few days. I'm like, huh? What?
Well, yeah, and that's when I got that because they're like, you'll have your answer by June 1st. I'm like, we're launching June 1st. Holy shit. And I knew I was cutting it close. I was trying to get it approved. I've been working on just getting that first photo to load for
Yep.
since Monday.
Yep.
And I finally put a ticket in Tuesday. It was a holiday weekend. So, I did what I could do. And my last one, I got instantly approved. So I still wanted to do it a week ahead, but I figured when I saw that I had to wait, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's because of everything that's going on right now in the world. Maybe they're just being extra careful, and that's fine. I know mine will get approved. Not worried about it, but I am worried because I'm telling everybody like June 1st. And what if they send me the email at like p.m. and that's when I get to go live? That would suck. I'd like to go live at 10 a.m., but what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's you do what you can do, but yeah, definitely it is a thing, and I've been hearing it more and more. So it's not just you; somebody else I know got a wait notice as well. So if you are looking at doing Kickstarters, I don't know about Indiegogo, but if you're looking at doing Kickstarters, just assume that you have that waiting period now. Don't wait.
You've never had it.
Yeah, do yourself a favor and give yourself a week, 10 days of less panic time. Because as we're working towards our next Kickstarter for the end of June, I'm definitely want to have it all done and just be like, whew, if they decide, yeah, you're going to take 3 days, dude. Because I freaked out again. I always kind of do it right to the wire, kind of like what you're talking about, not quite to the wire that you're on. But I definitely am like, well, they approved me last time in like 3 seconds. So what's the problem? And then all of a sudden it's like, stop.
Yeah.
3 days. Oh no.
What
did I do wrong?
How I felt.
And my head is like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Is there a boob somewhere? Like what don't they like? And I'm trying to figure out why they didn't like it. And then they're just like, no, you're fine.
I feel like the boob should get you like approved right away. Like
I know, right? Because that's an
involved.
immediate, like, this is going to make money because there's tits on it.
Right. So
which means Kickstarter is going to make money. So let's go.
Right. They get their cut. They should be happy.
They should be stopping everybody else. Like, there's no boobs in your campaign. Like, what are you doing? This is not a legitimate campaign unless you have boobs.
I don't know. I would say boobs or gore. Like,
sure.
Like an 80s slasher comic would be perfect.
Right.
I need to work on, because I think, I already write horror. Now I just have to incorporate boobs in there and we're good.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Good times for everyone. Oh my God. So I got heat exhaustion and sunburnt the other day.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me.
I'm really not feeling good. So I'm sorry if do I sound okay? Like very dizzy and off, but I hope I sound okay.
You're fine. Just keep hydrated. Keep pounding that water or whatever it is you're drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be fine.
I am.
I've been there before. I've had that. It's no good. It's no good. And it did get hot around here. It was like 90 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I I went to the post office and it was like 95 in town, and I'm bringing in all these boxes, and I'm just sweating, and I know people are looking at me like, dude, why is that guy sweating? What is going on? I'm like, it's because it's 95 degrees. Just leave me alone. I'm not COVID positive. Just slow down.
How do they not realize that, like, people sweat when it's hot out?
No.
It's like our body's air conditioning.
We're such in a panic mode about everything now, and I'm actually pretty happy that I get to stay inside and just not deal with anybody other than the internet. This makes me happy. Because outside is just filled with a lot of bizarre people.
Yeah, I'm mostly good with staying home. But after a while, I have to get out and do something, or I'll go crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course, that's natural, and your body's going to tell you to go outside because it needs the sunlight. It literally needs the sunlight, the vitamin D, and all that kind of crap that it needs. So you can't just exist inside. I mean, it's literally not good for you. So you need to go sit outside in the sun and take a walk around the block or whatever.
I beg to differ. I've done really, really well staying inside, and then I went outside in the shade for like 5 hours, got sunburnt and have heat exhaustion.
Well, 5 hours, that's too much. I didn't say go out for 5 hours.
I wasn't outside for 5 hours straight. Like I was going into the air conditioning. I was drinking water, but I just don't do that ever. So my body was like, why?
Well, I mean, we will eventually, if you stay inside long enough, you will become a mole person. I mean, your body will be like, yeah, we want the inside. We don't want the outside anymore. So that's real too. I mean, evolution is real. So the longer we're inside, the more we don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
Or more specifically, the more we can't go outside. We become the vampire race.
I think that's what's happened to me. It's happened. And it sucks because I do like being outside. I love swimming. I love going to the beach and stuff. But if I go, I have to have like 100 SPF and like an umbrella and like, I have to be really careful. Obviously, even shade doesn't protect me. You can't really see, but like my shoulders on both sides got it pretty bad and it hurts.
Just embrace the goth life. Bring your umbrella.
I do.
Just go all in.
I do. I have no problem with it. I have no shame or embarrassment. And the funny thing is that I have an umbrella, like a parasol, and it's black and it's super cute. And every time I use it, people are like, oh my God, it's so cute. Like these, normal looking people say that to me. And I'm like, aw.
The normies think you're cute.
I know. And I don't even know why I said normal looking, but you know what I mean? Like people who you would look at and not think that they would think like a goth parasol would be cute,
Yeah.
But hey, it is cute. So it is what it is, man. So yeah, my Kickstarter's launching on Monday, and I've got a question for you because I decided to do this like the simplest way possible because, it's a third issue, and now that it's being published through Rocketing Studios, like I can't necessarily like do some of the tiers that I was doing before because I mean I could play with it, but like there's certain products like I can't reoffer for the campaign because long story, we'll talk about it later, but so like I only have my tiers only go up to $35. I don't have like a big ticket tier, which I usually always have at least between 100 and like 1 to 300. I usually have something that goes between there.
Sure.
And I just, and I have time to add stuff, but I'm like, I'm doing 2 variant covers. I have a limit of 50 for the Dream variant cover, and then I'm doing a metallic version of the Dream cover, like a virgin cover. I'm going to do 20 of those, and I'm using that told me about, by the way.
Okay.
Rank or whatever.
Yep.
No, not Rank. Artistic.
Or Artist Express.
Artist Express. Yeah, I'm going to use them for that. So thank you for that advice. But I'm like, well, those are already like cool limited things. And then I have like an enamel pin. So I'm like, most of the time with my Kickstarters, having those bigger ticket items is great because it helps you get to your goal faster. But
Sure.
honestly, I don't like, for me, it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, is that something that do you think is a hindrance to a Kickstarter campaign, not having tiers?
Yeah, it can be. But let's look at yours as having low end tiers, and then look at what I did with Princesses versus Zombies. I changed my entire structure for Princesses versus Zombies on this last one, where everything was a $20 tier. I didn't change. Usually I have it's like 21, 22, 30, 31, 32, 40, whatever.
Right.
I made everything limited to 150 copies. I made everything $20 across the board, and that includes the shipping. So basically,
Okay.
you're paying like $15 for the book and like $5 for the shipping. Now, I did have a large tier because I took, all 10 covers and made like a big get it all tier right here.
Right.
So that did exist. But really, outside of that, there were some prints that were like 30 or 40 bucks. But and then we did have the metal ones that were like, $100, and you get the metal version and whatever. But here's the point, because I'm deviating off my point. The fact that we had everything, like anybody could come in, look at the campaign and go, I like that. It's $20 flat. We had the most backers in the history of Big Dog Inc. Kickstarters. So what the cheaper price does is it allows more access to the project. Whereas, normally some of those books I might have had at $40. Having it at $20 made it a pretty easy buy. It's just like, hey, it's $20 and free shipping. I'm jumping in. So
Right.
we had I'm trying to think of where we landed. We had almost 50 more backers than we had for our highest previous, which was Penny for Your Soul number 7. We broke the 600 mark for the first time, so on and so on. Now, we did sell out of the high tier, which was all the backers, and it was like, I don't know, there's something like $200. We did sell out of a good portion of the metals, which were, again, $100 a shot. But if we were to take those out, so there were 40 of the totals, right? Which would mean we were still over 600 backers, because we did like, or close to. So even if we took out that super high one, it would take money away from us, but we still would have had a tremendous amount of backers. We still would have had nearly 600 backers. And backer count is as important as money count, because backer count, if that's increasing for you each time, that's where you're finding your repeat business and showing that whatever it is you're doing from a marketing standpoint and from a product standpoint, people are going, oh, she's on issue 3 now. This is cool. Let me doing. So I think that low tier stuff can definitely work from a grab the backer count side of it. You may not make as much money, but in the long run, you can grow your base, which in the long run will increase your pledge amount.
Right. And for me, honestly, these Kickstarters are all the money just goes to printing the issue and making the next book. So
Sure.
I'm not looking to make a ton of money. I just need enough to cover my expenses so I can keep making books.
Sure.
Because, the publisher is going to get them and they're going to come out wherever. And that's where I make money. It's not really from Kickstarter. All of that. I don't think I've pocketed a single dollar that I've made on a Kickstarter. And I've actually put some of my own money in. Well, on the first one I did, because like I said, I messed up with shipping.
Sure.
So I had to eat that cost. But so for me, as long, and I have a low goal, it's $2,000.
Yeah.
And all of my Kickstarters, both my Kickstarters made over, one of them made 4, one of them made 3 something. So I'm not too worried about it. I just wanted to keep it simple. And I usually do like an exclusive print and all of that, but then depending on the size of that, you have different shipping boxes that you have to, and
Sure.
I'm just keeping it simple. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, I don't think this is a bad idea, but I'm used to having at least one hot, like a 75 to a $200 or $300 tier,
Well,
but
what
it's
I would
usually limited to
Yeah,
like
what I would
one or
say is,
two.
just make a package deal so that you get one of everything. What you get, one of your basic, one of your all of your variants. Just like make a get it all button. So if you're making 20 of those, whatever one of your things was, you said you're making like 20 or 25, just take like 10 of those and put them into a larger tier and have a larger, like you can get all 3 of the books or whatever it is in your larger tier. That way, and plus, because there are people that want it all. So instead of pledging for one and then having to add on the other 2 because
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter's dumb and doesn't have a shopping cart, um,
Yeah.
just give them that option of, hey, you can just buy them all here, and we've got 10 of these that you can just buy them all in one shot. And you'll probably, and that'll give you a little bit of a bump, because I'm sure you'll probably go through those 10 pretty quickly. And then that helps you with your algorithm, because your algorithm is, how many people are coming in. That's when you go to Kickstarter and you look at popularity, that's
Mm-hmm.
algorithms. That's people clicking that they like it. That's people clicking, actually pledging, so on and so on and so
Right.
on. And as your percentage grows, that's why you'll see a lot of Kickstarters. They'll say like, "Hey, we're 5,000%," and I'm like, "Yeah, but your pledge starting goal was $5, so that doesn't mean anything." But that's algorithm based, and that's how a lot of those projects push themselves upwards in the
Yeah.
popularity world, even though they've made far less than some of the, like for me, I was behind tons of books that were making like $5, $6, $7,000 from a popularity standpoint. And it's because their percentage base was higher than mine. But we
Right.
started at a what was it, $5,000 starting point, and they started at $5. So there's ways to kind of game the system into helping you. But I think
Well,
you'll be fine with lower, and I think it might open the door to more people to try it out.
and that's kind of like, I just wanted to keep it simple and like at a price point that I felt people would be comfortable with, because
Yeah.
I know what it's like right now out there. And this is why I didn't launch this when I was planning on it, because all this hit the same month,
Yeah.
that I was going to do it. So I don't want to alienate backers, and I understand how tight money is. And so I just felt like the more simple I keep it, simple tiers. And I did add, 2 different variant covers, which is something new for me, but I'm learning from you
Mhm.
that people do like that stuff. So I'm trying it out with the people that read my stuff. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
And, Misty Bondi is designing the pin. I'm waiting to get the design from her, but I love her art. So the pin's going to be really, really cute, and people love enamel pins. So
Mhm.
like that was an easy thing to do. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. And, I think I am going to maybe take 5 of the 2 variant covers and make it get it all tier with all 3 issues and the pin,
Sure. Yeah,
because
absolutely.
that would put it at like 85. So something like that. I don't know. I can't math right now. I'm really dizzy. I'll math later.
The math
when
side is tricky of it, yeah, but that's what we do, and going forward, we're going to be modifying all of our Kickstarters to basically be what we did. It's going to be, everything's going to be a lower number. We used to do like 200 or 300 of a book. I'm like, now, you know what? Let's just drop this down. Let's make it more exclusive. We actually have books that are exclusive to the campaign now too, where you can only
Mhm.
get it in the campaign. That's it. However many are ordered, that is how many we print, and we're done. So if you miss it,
Yeah.
I mean, we gave you the opportunity. So that's another thing that I think is a key to Kickstarters now, is offering things that you can only get during the campaign, because that kind of pushes people to be like, oh, well, I really need to pay attention to what's happening with
Mhm.
Steph, because she's going to have stuff that I can only get there, whether it's a print, whether it's a variant cover, whatever. Make stuff. I know campaigns that are now doing everything is exclusive to the campaign, and if you don't get it, there's nothing left. And those guys, in doing that, it creates a sort of a panic effect of, holy crap, I got to get all of this because it's gone. I mean, when it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
And I get that, and I understand that, but I would never do that to my fan base. But I will modify it to work for me in the context of, we're going to give you the opportunity to get this one, like we did for Princess versus Zombies. We had one I think we had two that were doing print to order on these, and if you don't get them, you get them. But everything else, you can get them as you want, and we'll probably have some extras when we're done. Although we did end up selling out of 3 of our reward tiers. So,
Right. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's, I have like the dream variant I think is limited to 50. Metallic one is only limited to 20. That's all it will ever be made.
yeah,
So I'm pretty sure they'll sell during the campaign, but if they don't and I have a couple left, well, I'm keeping one for myself.
sure. Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, you got to keep one of each thing that you make because
Yep.
it's fun. But like if I have any left, I mean, yeah, I'll sell them after the Kickstarter, but I
Sure.
don't anticipate because of the low numbers that I'm going to have any left. So, I mean, that's as close to exclusive to Kickstarter as I get, is basically just limit it. And if you get it or you don't get it and it sells out, then you don't get it. If
Yep.
you don't get it and it doesn't sell out, well, you still have a chance afterward.
Yep.
I get that not everybody can pledge money at a certain point, but having Kickstarter exclusive stuff does kind of give it it kind of makes it a little like special,
Yeah.
Kickstarter only. I mean,
Well,
I know I like seeing that. I mean, not when all the options are Kickstarter only, but like if they have something special that you can only get on Kickstarter, I like that.
Yeah, well, it's like it used to be, you go to Comic-Con and there would be an Emerald City exclusive. And they would sell out because everybody's like, oh my God, we got to get this thing because they're only available at Emerald City. But over time that became, well, they didn't sell out and the extras went to the internet, which is fine. Again, whatever. But that became, well, these don't sell out anymore. I can buy these anytime I want because they'll be on the internet.
Right.
So with making something that is truly exclusive and one time only, you're taking us back to the time of, hey, you've got to come to the con, you've got to come to the booth, you've got to get it before everybody else gets it. And then it's gone. So we're literally we're reverting back to that time when things were truly exclusive. And again, I get the point, but I would never make my entire campaign exclusive to Kickstarter.
Right.
Because that's asking too much of your fan base. But I think that limited edition and having something that is, hey, you can only get it here or within this package or whatever it is, I think that's acceptable, and I think it's fun for the audience because the ones that do get it are excited to have it.
Right.
The ones that didn't get it, they'll basically, you're going to get one of two responses. One is, oh damn, I need to make sure I get it next time. Or you get the guy that goes, oh, well, I'm not even going to bother now because I didn't get the first one. I'm like, okay. But those guys are few and far between. Most of the time you're going to get people excited about, oh, you got that? How do I get that? You can't. Oh, no, I have to be on the next Kickstarter or I have to be at the next con and I have to get that thing. Because we're all collectors, we all do the collecting thing. We all freak out when we see the thing that we want, and we're disappointed if we missed it. But then most of the time, I'd say 95% of the time, we go, oh, well, I got to watch these guys because they're probably going to do something else I want, and I can pounce on the next one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, we ended up talking all about Kickstarter stuff without even really trying to. Well, and packaging, but that was also in the context of Kickstarter.
It's all contextual.
But that's good though, because I mean, now we have a good way to close the show, which is my Kickstarter will be launching Monday, June 1st at 10 a.m. Like the email before 10 a.m. So I do have, like I said, we have a variant cover, the dream cover, which is the same art but colored different to match the dream sequences inside the comic. There'll be 50 of those available. And then we're doing a metallic version of that same cover. 20 of those will be available and they'll be virgin. So the back, it won't have anything on the front but the art. It's a beautiful cover. And I love all the colors that got done for that one. So, and we'll have an enamel pin and a catch-up tier, digital and physical. So
good.
Keeping it nice and simple for you guys. And I'm looking forward to hearing what people think about issue 3. So it turned out beautiful. I'm so stoked. So
Nice.
I can't wait.
Nice.
You got anything you want to share?
Well, yeah, right before we leave, we'll go ahead and drop the exclusive right here. In end of June to early July, our next Kickstarter will be our 10-year anniversary Critter hardcover edition. We have all the pieces are in place now. We weren't going to announce it until all the pieces were in place. They're all there. Printer is ready to go. Artists are already working. 10-year anniversary Critter hardcover edition will be dropping late June.
Woohoo! You heard it here first, folks. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking us out again today. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, I won't have to postpone due to heat exhaustion. Until then, be safe, and we'll see you soon.